Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Make It Yours. I'm Pat with Polaris. Today joined by Chris Julik, product manager of Kolpin and certified outdoor enthusiast. Today we're talking about how to use those off-road vehicles to make your hunts the most successful they can be. All right, so we know a lot of our riders are using their off-road vehicles for hunting.
Sure.
Whitetail, big game hunting, waterfowl hunting, upland hunting. And in all those applications, they've got to get either a firearm or a bow or an awkwardly shaped item out to their point where they're going to be executing that hunt, right?
Sure.
So I know that's a pain point for a lot of our riders. It looks like we've got a bunch of solutions here to make it that much easier.
We do. We have a bunch of different solutions. There are a lot of odd-shaped items, particularly bows, that people need to transport. Another one's crossbows, very interesting shaped items. So for those weird-shaped items, and probably their least expensive way of mounting items is to utilize a Rhino Grip. So Rhino Grips come in over 20 different styles, but this particular style is called the XLR. It's really, what makes this one really unique is that you can pivot these arms and set them at all different widths. So particularly when you're carrying an odd-shaped item like a bow or a crossbow, you can change this on multiple axes to best fit your item. And there's over 20 different styles of Rhino Grips, so very lightweight carrying items all the way up to items over 50 pounds that can be transported by the Pro series of Rhino Grips. And we make them for, we make the universal versions that you can mount just on a wall or a tube or a bed rail, but additionally we make ones specifically for different OEs and different vehicles within those OEs.
Yeah, I know we've got rubber straps that actually across here to actually retain those firearms and those bows in there as well.
Correct.
And like you said, we've got integrated options for Rhino Grips as well, right? Lock and Ride Max that just was recently launched with the XD 1500 as well.
Correct.
So there's secure attachment of those firearms or those bows in those applications, which is really, really cool.
Correct.
Awesome. Let's talk about firearm protection in particular. We've got a gun boot right here, which I know you guys are well known for over at Kolpin.
Yeah, Kolpin's been making gun carrying solutions since the early 40s. And in the early 70s, they developed what was called a gun boot. It's a predecessor of this version right here, but we've evolved that over time, and now this is capable of carrying up to a 52-inch firearm. So rifle or shotgun. Inside here, there's a nice soft case, padded and zippered lining to keep it nice and protected, and you can zip it up to keep it dry and dust free. But another element of this is there's special mounts that this part of the gun boot slides into to mount them. So if you're driving on a Sportsman ATV or a Ranger UTV, you can get the specific mount for that type of vehicle, and that way it's more securely transported. And depending on the state in which you're operating, there may be a law that requires you to actually contain your firearm and have it encapsulated when you're operating a powered vehicle. So just make sure you look at your state's rules and regulations before you do so.
Good tip. I know, so we've talked about a little bit about carrying those firearms or those bows on the external portion of the vehicle. What if I want to carry it inside the vehicle? Can I do that as well?
Sure. Firearms are not cheap, and the scopes on them aren't either. And so a lot of people like to, especially if they have a North Star type version or a cabbed version, carry the firearms on the inside. So there's a couple ways to do that on the inside too. This particular one is a vertical gun rack. So you mount it on the floor between the two seats, the passenger and the driver, and it goes vertically, and you can carry 2 shotguns or 2 rifles, or interchange one of each of them. And then there's also a version, it doesn't really work well for tall guys though, is when you go overhead. So there's a mount that will attach to the front of the cab and then to the middle of the cab, and then you run your firearms perpendicular to the vehicle. And you can put up to two firearms or 1 bow on those.
That's awesome. So it holds them securely and they're still easily accessible.
Correct.
Those are 2 things our customers love. Very cool. So we know there's a lot of prep that goes into hunting as well, right? You got to carry a lot of items, whether that's out to the blind or out to the stand, or maybe you're even preparing for the season, right? What kind of racking options do we provide for some of those applications?
Yeah, there's lots of different options. You can go straight to the roof. You can have a roof rack. You can have an overbed rack. You can have storage boxes. You can have have aluminum bed boxes, roto-molded bed boxes. There's a lot of different styles, but you got to transport your cameras. You want to do it safely and dust-free. Get a box, aluminum box or a plastic box. If you just want to carry out a lot of your tree stands or your tools to clear your shooting lanes, or big blind bags, you can utilize all different types of storage accessories that we have: overbed racks, bed extenders, roof racks. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but there's a lot that goes into the hunting season, and a lot of gear that needs to be transported. So whether it's pre-season, during the season, or post-season, there's a lot of different ways, a lot of accessories that we have available to us, whether they be Polaris branded, Kolpin branded, or one of our great partners like Rhino Rack.
Sure. So, and I know obviously hunting takes place at a variety of different times of the day, right? It can be very early in the morning when you're gonna go set up. Maybe you're setting up blinds with decoys. Talk to us about some of the lighting options we have available to kind of make that experience better just through full illumination.
Yeah, sure. Well, one that comes to mind is the pop-up light that it mounts right here and folds upwards, and it sends out like a nice circumference of light. It's great for setup in the morning, like duck and geese setups, big spreads. It's a great way of doing it, early in the morning. But then you've also got a variety of different light bars available, whether you're skinny and wide, whether they be spot or flood or combo, so that you can search for things or find your harvest, hopefully.
Sure. Awesome. Well, it seems like we've got a ton of accessories to help you guys be successful this fall. Chris, I would just want to say thanks again for coming in. It was a pleasure.
Absolutely.
All right, for you guys at home, good luck out there this season. If you want to learn more about our hunt collections, check us out online or in our catalogs. If you have any questions on any particular items, stop into your local dealer. Have a good season out there, and we'll see you next time.